Corey. Here. Doty.
Here.
Dowdy.
Here.
Friesland.
Here.
Mason. Here. McDevitt.
Here.
Purdy. Here. Shook.
Here.
Watts.
Here.
Bennett.
Here.
Clayton.
Here.
Cox.
Here. Devin, do you listen to this?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the season that we just came through. Spend time with our families, our faith, and we pray, Lord, for all of our workers, especially our highway workers, our first responders, as we go through this winter season and storms, that you protect them and their families. And we pray that tonight we do your will and good for all people. And we pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. A moment of silent reflection, please. Please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comment, Mr. Combs, you're first.
That's all, Mr. All. I had two questions. One was, and I know you guys don't know the answer, but I'm hoping you can get the answer for the next meeting. I was checking into the amendment that was made to the Illinois State Constitution on property taxes based on personal property. And basically, it said that anything that is personal, that is not tied down, and that you pay sales tax for, is exempt from property taxes. I was wanting to know if you could find out for me and let me know who gave the authority to the tax assessor's office to charge property taxes on utility storage sheds that exceed 240 square feet. That's a question I'd like to know, because according to the amendment that was made January 2nd, 1971, that's not legal. And if it is, I'd like to know why and how. So if you could find that out for me, I'd appreciate it. Number two, and my reflection from the county board members is that, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, is do you county board members, when you get elected, do you get a book that gives you your authority of what you can do, what you can't do, and your duties as county board members? Do you get anything as a guideline to tell you what you can do and can't do? Do you?
That's what we get.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
whether it covers all the things you talk
Well, because it seems like that in some of the cases I've been here, you don't know the authority. A prime example was about not being able to release a tax assessor from their duties if you find it deeming necessary. And you were quoted law, section, article, and everything by the watchdogs.
We can do that. I think it's just a matter of the question of where our authority ends in terms of being able to direct the person in that office versus just cashiering the funds.
All right. And so I was curious. The second thing is that when it comes to taxation, and this is not party affiliated, this is a question that I'm going to ask because there's not very many people that know the answer. How many of you think that you're legally obligated to pay federal income taxes? Could I just see a quick show of hands? How many think that you legally are obligated to pay federal income taxes? Thank you. What if I told you you didn't? What if I told you that the federal income tax was referendum after World War I in order to pay for World War I? It had to be ratified by all 50 states. Arizona and Wyoming did not ratify it. It became a voluntary contribution. I heard this on the radio back in the 80s and didn't think much about it. And then I was in 1991, I was in the post office where you used to be able to get your tax forms. And right there was the federal income tax form, state tax form. And I'm looking at the federal tax form, and the letterhead at the very top of the page said, "Thank you for your voluntary contribution." That is no longer on there.
Yeah.
So that works to the knowledge of not knowing the knowledge of what's going on. The government plays on that, okay? I checked with an accountant, and I'll wrap this up real quick, is that does exist, and the people that do know about it can use a certain form. You legally have to file a federal income tax, but you legally don't have to, and you might want to check into that. Thank you.
Just as, I mean, I don't know if there's some point I haven't read, but the federal income tax was passed as part of it's the 16th Amendment to the Constitution.
The federal income tax was supposed to be ratified. If it had been passed, you wouldn't have had voluntary contribution across the board.
Well, it's curious, but it is the 16th Amendment of the Constitution.
That you have to file a federal income tax to record with the federal government. I'm just saying that if you check into it, it actually is a voluntary contribution, and they just removed that from the letterhead because the people that have mostly done it have died and don't know.
Okay.
So can we, real quick, Mr. Chairman, please, so can we get one of the forms in?
If you can, I may have them, if I can find one, because my mom kept all the tax records. I don't know if you can get online and request a tax form prior to 1991, but I know prior to 1991, they did have thanks for the voluntary contribution.
Next up is Mr. Bromberry.
Last meeting, we talked, well, Mr. Stodden brought up the idea of video taping, or video cameraing the board meeting. Is that something that somebody's looked into, or has anybody got any input from the board? Is that a doable thing, a non-doable thing? And coupled with that question would be, what's left in the ARPA funds? Can anybody answer that?
I can't answer about the ARPA funds, but it was discussed in both the Offices and Rules Committee and Regional Planning Committee. No decisions were made this time around, but it will continue to be discussed in subsequent meetings.
The other thing I'll ask, I'm going to have a board review meeting. I said something at the end of the meeting last month about it. I'd like for some participation from some of the county board members. I'm sure not all of you could attend, but I'm personally inviting you to my board review meeting. I think it might shed some light on just how the thing operates. I know it's another duty for everybody, but it might be, rewarding from the standpoint of learning just how the thing operates and seeing what's going on. I think some of it, I know you listen to a lot of stuff up here and there's some turbulence about it, but I think if we could get to the real meaning of what's going on, maybe it would make a little bit more sense to you. I really don't think you follow. It's got a lot of tentacles And I'm not for sure everybody understands, so I'm gonna, if somebody would like to step forward from the board and show up more, I appreciate it.
When and where and what?
Don't know yet, I'm waiting on that great piece of paper coming in the mail, so. But when I get that, I'll get a hold of Mr. Cox or somebody, and then maybe put it on Facebook and let everybody else see it too, because I think it's kind of interesting. There's an awful lot to learn on both sides of what's going on. And I don't know, like it or not, I spent 2.5 or 3 years on the board of review myself. So it's not the same thing as what you think it is. And I think you shed a light on the subject to help everybody. Thank you.
Mr. Perry, have you ever thought about getting back on it? I know you're a busy guy and all that, but.
You know, thank you, and I enjoyed it thoroughly, but I don't know that I'd be the kind of guy now from the standpoint of what's got to happen, because there's things deeply wrong, and I don't mean that, I'm not trying to cause trouble. I'm just telling you that there's gonna, in order to fix things, we're gonna have to work hard to fix it. There's just stuff that's not right, and it's just because it was mishandled. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Mason.
Three years ago, citizens attacked law enforcement at the Capitol using many weapons, including pepper spray, bear spray, and the point of an American flagpole. Since then, much has happened. 1,100 people are facing or have faced criminal charges that include assault on law enforcement and obstruction of a civil proceeding. 468 pleaded guilty so far, with 335 sentenced. Judges in Colorado and Maine have ruled that the former president incited the attempted insurrection. Several other states are trying to remove him from the ballot. 3, the former president interfered with the election and election results. Fake electors were ready to certify fabricated results. Fox News spewed falsehoods, leading to a $787 million settlement between Fox News and Dominion Voting Systems. In 60 trials across the country, not one judge nor jury found the election was stolen. Trump is not the author of the tweet saying that rioters should stay peaceful. A minion wrote it. After advisors tried unsuccessfully to get him to quell the mob, Trump tweeted that Pence was wrong to certify the election. And Trump has yet to turn over to the National Archives a 10-inch thick binder containing highly classified information related to Russian election interference. 6, the former president's repulsive rhetoric continues, having called Mexicans rapists, claiming Haitians all have AIDS, and Africa contains several shithole countries. To inflame his base, he now refers to convicted prisoners as hostages, alleges that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country, and uses the Nazi dog whistle, vermin, when referring to his opponents. Before 2021, the former president was fomenting discord and hate throughout the country by lying continuously and doubling down on his lies. He is a gloat, the greatest liar of all time. The Washington Post reported him making 30,573 false or misleading claims during his 4 years in term. Just in his first 100 days in office, Trump made 7 times more misleading statements than Biden did in his first 100 years. Anthropologist Margaret Mead once observed that we've survived because of our compassion for others. Based on these occurrences and the rhetoric emanating from the far right, our survival and the survival of our democracy is at stake.
I wish I could rebuttal that.
Mr. Ronaldo, is he here? Somebody sign him up.
He's not here. I got a question. What does that have to do with county business?
Thank you.
I love that question
What's that got
because
to do
we've
with
had
county
that
business?
question we've had everybody come
You
in
were
here.
told- you were
We've
told
had Rick
about
Shook talk
the
about the
last
dorm
meeting.
on campus, which has nothing to do with county board. We've had other people, I believe you come in and talk about education in
I
our
would be
town
happy
and
because
say that
I
people
shut it
cannot
off.
go to the county board, school board, because they won't let you speak there. So you're talking about school board stuff to the county board. And there are other people who have spoken otherwise, so I just would like to answer the question. I had 3
Okay, all right,
minutes.
all right, enough.
I had 3
We're
minutes
gonna-
as a
we're gonna
public
move on.
speech, and I gave my 3
We're gonna
minutes.
move on, Ms. Mason.
It does not say it has to relate to county board, as are other people.
I will
understand.
entertain a motion to approve last month's minutes.
Downey?
Motion by Mr. Dowdy, a second by Mr. Friesel. Any discussion? Roll call.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesland,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes,
McDevitt,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Say yes, I'm sorry. Purdy,
yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. Next up, we have one appointment for the supervisor of assessments. We interviewed a few candidates this morning. Michelle Babbs was, after being offered the job, she called me back and said she would take it. With advice and consent of the board, I'm going to appoint Ms. Babbs. Is there any discussion on that?
Is that permanent or temporary?
Permanent. 4-year term?
Is that usually what they are?
Yes. Roll call?
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesland,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. Next up is committee reports, building and grounds.
Mr. Chairman, there was no meetings.
Thank you. Corporate extension board, Ms. Corey.
We met in December, the minutes aren't ready yet. I'll report next time.
County Office of Rules.
Sorry, I'm gonna catch up real quick.
Page 13. You need it?
Sorry. Thank you.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has trouble.
County Offices and Rules Committee met was called to order at 4:38 PM on January 4th with the following members present: Nancy Purdy, Jeremy Dowdy, Mike Clayton, and Denise Corey, Chair. Andrew McDevitt was unable to appear. Also attending were Michelle Babbs from the Assessment Office, George Edwards, Treasurer, Julie Coe, County Clerk, Board Member Mike Watts, and Vicki Biavao, Administrative Assistant. Tax cycle update: Ms. Babbs stated that the tax cycle is starting in the board review period. In old business, Mr. Edwards discussed with the members the Paid Leave for All Workers Act. Mr. Edwards requested that this item be revisited at the next committee meeting, and no action was taken. Under new business, the committee members discussed public streaming of county board meetings. No action was taken at this time. The members also discussed real estate taxes and procedures for the assessor's office. Discussion followed and no action was taken. There was no miscellaneous business under public comment. Chris Holloway was our only member of the public that attended the meeting. And the meeting adjourned at 5:41 PM on a motion by Mr. Clayton and seconded by Ms. Purdy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chairman.
Next is education, Mr. McDevitt.
No meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Emergency Food and Shelter Board.
No meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Emergency telephones, 911 board, Mr. Shook.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had a meeting Thursday. It was only about a 15-minute meeting. It wasn't very long at all. I try to let you folks know all the time about our staffing, because our staffing with the dispatchers has been up and down, up and down, up and down. We've had 14 full-time dispatchers, 16, 17, 13. Would like to say now, our dispatchers, right now we have 18 full-time dispatchers. We have 2 in training, and we have 1 dispatcher right now part-time. So that's all I have right now, Mr. Chairman. I try to let you folks know every month what's going on with our employees and with stuff like that, because there for a while we didn't know what it was going to do. We were in trouble with dispatchers. So things are looking up, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Finance Committee. Finance Committee met on January 4th at 5:47 PM with the following members present: Mike Watts, Nancy Pretty, Mike Clayton, and Darrell Cox, Chairman presiding. Andrew McDivitt was unable to attend. Also attending were George Edwards, Treasurer, Steve Simpson, Maintenance Supervisor, Michelle Babb, Supervisor of Assessment Office, and Vicki B. About, Administrative Assistant. Mr. Edwards reported to the members that they are finishing year-end and getting ready for the audit. That was the extent of his report. Old business, the committee discussed the salary for supervisor assessments. After discussion, Mr. Watts made a motion to forward a resolution for the supervisor of assessment salary to the county board. Mr. Clayton seconded. The ayes were unanimous of 4, no nays, 1 absent, and I will scroll down to that. The salary for 2024 is $65,000, and thereafter is a 3.5% raise for the following 3 years for 2025, 2026, and 2027. Any discussion?
What was the previous, do we know what the previous salary was?
57. And keep in mind that we were reimbursed at 50% from the state if we meet the criteria that they require us to meet, which we have in years past.
So they did raise that salary?
We did.
Good.
But I think it was about 14%.
And the state pays half of it, Mr. Chairman?
Half. They reimburse us for half. They don't have to pay for half, but they reimburse us. And we did get some comparables. Effingham County is paying our supervisor assessment $86,000 a year. So I don't plan on being here in 40 years, but yeah, whoever is, probably ought to look at the surrounding counties and be competitive, or we may be looking for another assessor.
And that would be my concerns, that make sure we're taking care of paying.
And that, if I may, that salary that we decided on is less than the candidates asked for. So.
We came to.
That was negotiated.
It was negotiated. She accepted today. But
She did.
It was negotiated.
Correct.
But it's less than what she wanted.
A little. And we discussed, she asked for maybe some additional vacation time, which we'll have to, I told her I can't commit to that, but obviously benefit time doesn't cost us cash up front, so we'll take that up at the next finance committee meeting.
Yeah. Just over the last, since August or whatever, personally dealing, not personally, but in the meetings, my personal opinion in the meetings is I've been very impressed with her. I would hate to lose her, that's just why I'm saying that. So I'm glad it's raised to what it was, but yeah,
I think she was the person for the job.
yeah, I just want to keep her.
And her name is?
Do you want to make that in the form of a motion, Mr. Downey?
To do what? To make the motion?
Setting her salary?
Yeah, I wish it was more, but I'll make the motion.
Okay. I'll entertain a second. Second by Mr. Watts. Did you get that?
Dowdy and Watts.
Yes. Roll call.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesland,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
No.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. The next few, I believe there's 10 of them? No, more like 13, over 13. Our all ARPA funds request. Pardon? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The second resolution is a public defender fund to amend the budget. Thank you, Ms. correcting me. This is money that the public defender's office got, $102,390. I believe it had something to do with the Safety Act. And it creates line items for salaries, for benefits, and for continuing legal education. Is there any discussion?
Where did they get that money?
From the state?
And is that that will be a continuing thing?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
And this is for the public defenders?
Correct. What this resolution does is just setting up line items so we can spend the money that the state gave the public defender's office.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Dowdy, second by Mr. Clayton. Roll call.
Corey,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesen,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
No.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. Okay. Now, number 3. 3 through 14 are ARPA funds. The first one, I'm not going to read the whereases, I'm going to cut to the chase. The amount is not to exceed $15,210, and it's for the Colton County IT network cybersecurity. All of these resolutions have been passed by the Finance Committee. I believe they were all unanimous. No, they were not. So, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Dowdy,
I'll second that.
second by Mr. Bennett. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Corey,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesen,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. Are we voting for all these?
No, just this one. We're doing them individually.
Okay. Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. The next one is amount not to exceed $17,000 shall be made available to the Coles County Sheriff for bulletproof vests. Any discussion? I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Bennett, a second by Mr. Doty. That's right?
Bennett, Jody,
Correct. Roll call.
Corey,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesen,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. The next one is the Children's Advocacy Center, the amount not to exceed $8,161.
This is for an the electronic record keeping system,
Yes.
sounds like?
Yes. It's separated for electronic record keeping.
Any further discussion?
So moved.
A motion by Ms. Purdy, second by Mr. Clayton. Before we vote, I've been conflicted for quite some time over these ARPA funds, and before I vote no, I want everyone to know why. And I look down the road and I see that we're probably going to have to issue a bond to do some work, some county parking lots, maybe a generator at the jail, maybe a heating unit at the correction at the courthouse, a generator, and possibly a heating unit at the courthouse. And tonight, I'm going to vote no on anything that's not government related. I think at some point, we're gonna be borrowing money to spend on government projects that could have been used for, we could have used ARPA money for. There's things on this list that we're never gonna get to, if you've seen the ARPA list, that are government projects, and we're gonna give money to private entities. And who are we to say who does and who doesn't get money as a private company or private entity? I think that government projects should take priority, because every dime that we supplant general funds from is money that we still have that are taxpayer dollars to use for programs that the county wants to do. So, without further ado.
Oh, we haven't voted yet. No, you're
No, we
voting.
have not.
There's a motion.
We have not. So, if there's no further discussion, roll call.
Corey,
No, we need a second, no.
Yeah.
I have Purdy and Clayton,
Oh.
correct?
Correct.
Okay. Corey,
No.
Doty,
No.
Dowdy,
Goodness gracious.
This is for the Children's Advocacy Center.
Must be private.
It's probably not-for-profit.
It is
right? It's
a
not like a,
They are. They're not, it's not profit. They provide a service to law enforcement.
And
They interview child victims.
yeah, I'm gonna vote yes.
And before anybody else votes, it's really, I think, inappropriate that Mr. Cox said what he said. And it's okay for him as a human to say whatever, but as chair of the committee, I find it inappropriate, especially since the ARPA committee discussed what our general feeling was, and we went through what we think is going to be important. We identified, we rank ordered everything, and so these are based on our rank ordering. So this is Gerald Cox saying, I don't like the rank ordering, therefore I'm going to, and for your other reasons. But the committee itself rank ordered, this reflects the rank ordering. And the thing is, if we have to do a bond, if we have to do let's say a $3 million bond, just saying that, then out of that, there could have been 10 to 15 to 30 groups that could have been helped, who now will never have that money because they don't have the opportunity to get manna from heaven, which is what ARPA is providing. So I disagree with Mr. Cox, and I think it's also inappropriate that he tried to get people to go along with him when it was not.
Ms. Mason, I'm not trying to get anybody to go along with me. I believe that I'm entitled to my opinion.
You are.
I believe I can speak my mind.
You
and
absolutely are.
I am
Not in that
advocating
position.
anyone here to vote
Not at all.
the way they should.
And not in your position is that appropriate, and you're welcome to read any research about that.
Excuse me, where were we at?
Friesland,
No.
Mason,
Yes?
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
No.
Watts,
Yes,
Bennett,
No.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
No. The next one is the Coles County Network Switch Upgrade. It is in the amount of $20,012. Any discussion? I entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Watts, a second by Mr. Doty. Roll call.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesland,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes?
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
yes,
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. The next one is a Coles County IT phone upgrades in the amount of $50,000. Is there any discussion?
Current system's working and I guess okay.
Pardon?
There's a reason for needing new phones.
I believe this is
it's replaced aging failing handsets, and we're only partially funding the request because we were given the information they could be phased in if this amount covers the ones that really need to be replaced at this point in time.
Very good, thank you. Yeah,
I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Bennett, second by Mr. Doty. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesland,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes,
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. The next one is a Salvation Army for social services in the amount of $25,000. Any discussion?
I'll note that this is half of the funding that was requested, and the funding was requested, it's going to be used to pay for housing and utility help for people in need within the county. I'll say that I'm concerned that since COVID's wound down, that a number of the social service organizations have watched their donations dip off while their needs have increased. And so what this is going to do for this organization and some others down the line, I think they 5 years' time to try to get back up to speed to meet the needs of the community.
When you were discussing that with them and learning about how that worked, was there criteria that someone had to meet, or anybody could ask for assistance?
You have to ask Salvation Army what their specific criteria is. I don't know that specific.
But that is Coles County residents.
It's Coles County Salvation Army. Yeah.
Question came up at the ARPA meeting, don't they have a large endowment somewhere? Did you ever find that out, or?
I did not find that. But I'm sure a number of these organizations do have large endowments, but how that's reflected in their budget, usually that shows up as an income line, and the actual capital assets, they don't list that because they only use the income, they don't use the towards.
That goes for food too, right?
And so,
For the Salvation Army?
no, they specifically asked it for utilities and housing.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Watts, second by Ms. Purdy. Roll call.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
No.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesland,
No.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
No.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
No. The next one is Charleston Area Church's Food Pantry for food in the amount of $40,000. Any discussion?
I'll just say that this mirrors the grant request we just looked at in Salvation Army Service.
Was this the entirety of what they requested?
No.
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 They requested 100,000.
Does it stipulate like what the 40,000 is for? Do they have criteria?
Yeah, they were
Strictly food purchase?
Yeah, because they asked for some other things, and so it's going to be stipulated if they get the award that's just for the food portion of the grant.
I do know, speaking with them in the past, in the presentation that I was at, that money donations, they can buy much more than anybody ever go and donate food to them. You get wholesale opportunity.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Dowdy, second by Mr. Friesland. Roll call.
Corey,
Abstain.
Doty,
No.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesland,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
No. The next one is a crisis response team, protective equipment. The amount is $130,000. Any discussion?
What kind of equipment?
I will actually defer to the crisis response team commander. He can tell you what he's going to spend it, if he gets the money, what he's going to spend.
All money will be used on safety equipment, personal safety equipment, whether that's body armor, helmets, and training aids that we use for our trainings. So that's what all the money will be spent on, safety equipment for our officers.
Could you just tell, because I heard the in the ARPA meeting, how many people are on your response team and how often approximately, generally, you're called out?
We have currently 15 officers and approximately 6 medics assigned to us from Mattoon Fire Department. And we're called out to handle high stress, high problematic situations that law enforcement comes across approximately once a month is our year average.
Any further discussion?
But probably the stuff you're looking to purchase has an expiration date too, so life expectancy for a helmet.
The actual Kevlar and armor stuff generally does. This includes stuff to hold it as well, which would last a lot longer. This will be a shot in the arm to get everything kind of going, and then we'll be able to start kind of a replacement process that way for the actual.
Where's your money normally come from for these items?
So we get money from each department that is a part of the team. We get per officer with a cap of $2,500 per agency. That's annually. So approximately $10,000 a year.
You have people who are paying for their own safety.
We have a lot of guys that have their own
Should
stuff.
we have
Yes,
them?
ma'am. So.
Well, one of the things that was discussed is the fact it was started because the state's response time for any kind of emergency like this is ridiculous. And this is something that's controlled locally, and also the situation and the things that we're going through right now in our country with, I think it was brought up, schools. We want to make sure that we have somebody who can get to a school quickly and bring a situation under control quickly. We have all sorts of drugs, same thing. So, I mean, I will vote yes. I just want to say that. So this is in the mutual aid program, you can go over time.
We assist the Central East Central Illinois Drug Task Force. We also can assist surrounding counties if they call us. As far as we're overseen by a board of the sheriff and chiefs, so if they approve us going to assist an outside agency, then we do, and we have.
Motion by Mr. Doty, second by Mr. Friesland. Roll call.
Corey?
Yes.
Doty?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Friesland?
Yes.
Mason?
Yes.
McDevitt?
Yes.
Purdy?
Yes.
Shook?
No.
Watts?
Yes.
Was that yes, Mike?
Yes.
Thank you. Bennett?
Yes.
Clayton?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes. Next one is number 11, the Hutton Fire Protection District for updated radios in the amount of $20,000. Any discussion?
I just want to comment that it wasn't clear to me that they've exhausted all other avenues for funding before submitting their grant.
Yeah, I'm aware that there are other sources for funding for this radio upgrade for the rural fire departments are getting.
Entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Clayton, second. So your motion is going to die for lack of a second. Moving along, Matthew 25. For housing insecurity in the amount of $60,200. Any discussion?
Anybody explain that? Yes, I know Matthew 25 is, I know, but what's housing insecurity?
Their costs have gone up because of change in ownership of the facilities that they're leasing. And again, their donations have dropped, and they're trying to serve more people. If you're familiar with the program, you know that they don't just house people that need it, but it's also a mentorship program, so that they're basically trying to work them out of being homeless. And they asked for basically 2 years of housing costs. This represents 1 year. And that they also have donations that more than match this amount in the amount of over $68,000.
Entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Watts,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Mason. Roll call.
Corey,
I'm thinking. So Mike, you're saying they also haven't exhausted all avenues since they have a donation fund that exceeds the amount that they're asking for?
Yes, they're in the same boat as the other agencies I've described, where their donations have fallen off when the needs have gone up. And it's proven to be a very successful program. The goal is to actually acquire a facility, but of course they're still leasing. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Doty,
No.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesen,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
No.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
No.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
No.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
No. The next one is the Council on Aging.
Super
Super Scott.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't have myself. Okay, soup stop for food and small equipment in the amount of $46,000. Any discussion?
I'm not familiar with Soup Stop. Does anyone want to describe it?
Says food small.
Soup Stop is a free lunch program that's existed for more than a decade.
Absolutely.
It's been housed in various churches in the county. Anyone can go. The money, they actually get food from WB's. And volunteers pick it up, serve it. And, again, the funding's dropped off. They asked for 2 years of food costs, and I believe this represents half of that. Again, looking at only a year instead of 2 years.
Do we know how many people they feed to this?
I don't think I got that.
That's all right. I see. That's all right.
But they've been active for a long time. I know What's Cooking used to give them soup.
I think I didn't bring that, I'm sorry.
Motion?
And who are they feeding?
Everyone who walks through the door, but it's primarily people in need, that's who.
I'll move.
Are there a lot of elderly that come to this?
Yeah.
Motion by Ms. Mason, second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Clayton. Roll call.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Yes.
Friesen,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
No.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
No. The next one is Council on Aging for lower level roof repairs in the amount of $61,600.
Is that a lifespan or?
Yes.
And we had several discussions on these. Do we own this building?
No. No.
Yeah, the county owns the Dial-A-Ride vehicle storage facility out there, but they do not own the Lexington Center.
Gotcha.
Was this bid out?
Yes, this is the lowest bid.
It's complicated. They have storm damage and insurance would cover the part that's specifically damaged, but to actually successfully integrate the new with the old, they really have to replace the part that the insurance covers and give the reimbursed for. So I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Watts,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Purdy.
And
Roll.
just, be aware, because the Council on Aging has the the lunch program for senior citizens. It has activities. It's a very,
It houses the tax VITA program, the free taxes for low-income and seniors.
sorry, so it provides a lot of services for the senior citizens of our county.
Roll call.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesland,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes,
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
No.
Watts,
Yes,
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, did any besides, Ms. Coe, did any besides 11 fail?
No.
Do you know?
I'm sorry, would you?
It died for lack of a second.
11 did, but did any of the other ones fail?
No.
Six.
Number 6 failed?
five.
Number 5.
Five was the children's.
Children's advocacy failed?
It failed?
Electronic records.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the only one that five failed, and the other one failed because died for lack of a second.
Number 12. I'll have go over all of them when we get that, so we'll know which ones passed and which ones didn't. The next one is, are we done? Oh, we are done. So can you give us a, did you vote? Do we need to vote on the last one? Or we already did? That's what lawyers do.
Where are they?
The first one was the cybersecurity.
number 3,
Right, cybersecurity was unanimous yes. Is that correct, Karen? Coles County Sheriff's Office was unanimous yes. Children's Advocacy Center was 6 yes, 6 no.
That would have failed.
Network switch upgrade was unanimous yes. Coles County phone upgrade unanimous yes. ARPA Salvation Army was 8-4 yes. Food pantry, 1 abstain, 2 noes, and 9 yes. CRT, Crisis Response Team, was 11 yes, 1 no. Hutton Fire District did not pass for lack of a second. And the Matthew 25 was 7-5 yes. Soup Stop, I almost said potato soup, I must be hungry. Soup Stop was 10-2 yes. And Council on Aging was 11-1 yes. Is that all of them?
Thank you.
Okay, Health and Safety. Health and Safety Committee met on January 3rd at 4:35. The following members present: Pat Friesland, Andrew McDevitt, Gerald Cox, Chair. Denise Corey and Jeremy Dowdy were unable to attend. Also attending were Julie Dieters from the Care Center, Matthew Hostetler, Rob Stroud from the Journal Gazette, and Vicki Beebout, Administrative Assistant. Mr. Hilgenberg submitted his EMA report prior to the meeting. Ms. Dieters gave a Care Center update. There was no old business. There is new business, a contract with N&P Construction for an animal shelter building. This was funded from ARPA. That's $160-some thousand, and it's short. The Care Center will have to make up the difference of approximately $20,000. And that's why we didn't approve it last month, because we didn't know where the additional funding was going to come from. So it's, what it has to be voted on. So I will entertain a motion, or is there any further discussion first?
Was there just one bid that was received?
One vote.
Bid?
That's the only bid we received.
How many bids went out?
How many? Well,
I mean, you put it out, and that's the only one, they only received one person interested.
correct.
And was it assertively
Oh,
advertise.
It was like all the others, yeah. It was done through the Springfield Planning Office.
A legal notice. So moved.
Motion by Ms. Purdy, second. Second. Second by Mr. Friesen.
I'm sorry, just one more question.
Sure.
Where are the additional funds coming from?
Where
Where's
are
the difference coming from?
I believe it's coming out of her donation line item.
Is the majority amount coming out of ARPA funds?
168,000, I believe, is coming from ARPA, and almost 20,000 is from in-house donation.
And how much is in her donation account?
I don't know exactly.
What was the question?
How much is in the donation account?
Oh, I don't know.
Is there any concern that donations were made earmarked for something specific?
She keeps those separate. Usually when whoever makes the donation will say it has to be used for this fundraiser or that. So this is in, as George Edwards explained to me, this is what she has in her donation fund. It's not restricted. I'll entertain a motion. Nope, I already have a motion for Ms. Purdy, I'm sorry. I need a second.
Second by
A second by Mr. Friesen, okay. Roll call.
Corey?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Friesland?
Yes.
Mason?
Abstain.
McDevitt?
Yes.
Purdy?
Yes.
Shook?
No.
Watts?
No,
Bennett?
Yes.
Clayton?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes. Miscellaneous business, Mr. Cox shared with the members an agreement between Mars Pet Care and the Care Center. Discussion followed, no action taken. After the meeting, I did receive a phone call from Mars Pet Care. They are going to do a site evaluation. They'll probably be done remotely, and I'm waiting to hear from them. Our ultimate goal is for us to come into compliance with what they request, so they would, if we meet their goals, they will provide us with certain services and dog food and cat food free of charge.
You know, Mr. Chairman, we've had a lot of problems with them people have,
With,
with the dog place.
oh, you mean Ann?
Yeah, the cat, I mean, no. With the,
Mars?
yes.
Well, they're working with us. I've went out there and met with them. They're actually not going to be doing the site survey. It's done by a private company, I believe, or private entity out of Texas, I think. So it's it won't be Mars won't be the one actually doing the survey.
And the U of I has also started its neuter inspection program again.
Correct. Well, the meeting adjourned at 4:54 p.m. with a motion by Mr. McDevitt and a second by Mr. Friesen. Next.
Darrell, before you go on with that, could, I noticed in our board book that, that the animal shelter information takes up about, I don't know, 20 pages, 30 pages, and it could be done in 2 Excel pages, and I know that was talked about many months ago, so I would like you or whoever to continue trying to get that, because I couldn't deal with it. I just gave up on it. But on one sheet, we all can find out all the information. And
She is still in that process. She needs help doing that. And she's sought out help for that. So
she has been doing that. She has been doing
My
that.
guess is that this is an Excel spreadsheet, it's just how she printed it.
No, it can't possibly be. You can print the whole Excel sheet on landscape.
Not everybody knows that, I don't think she knows that, so. My guess is, because it used to be handwritten, that's all I'm saying.
yeah,
I think she should.
I would rather handle
we're
it
taking baby
myself.
steps. We're gonna get there.
And I understand, I'm the same way.
Okay. Let's see. The next one is.
Insurance, no meeting.
The insurance committee is no meeting. I need to find the electric. He December 6th, the Coles County Liquor Control Commission was called over at 5:55 with the following members present: John Doty, Gail Mason, and Darrell Cox, chairman. Also attending was Vicki Beabout, administrative assistant. The members were presented with renewal applications for Bella Vista Private Resort, Mattoon Golf and Country Club, Meadowview Golf Club, and Warren James Winery for 2024. The members reviewed the applications and discussion followed. Mr. Doty moved to approve the applications presented by Bella Vista Private Resort. Ms. Mason seconded. Unanimous was 3, no nays. Motion carried. Mr. Doty moved to approve the application as presented by the Mattoon Golf and Country Club. Ms. Mason seconded the motion. The motion carried unanimous with 3 ayes and no nays. Mr. Doty moved to approve the application as presented by the Meadowview Golf Club. Ms. Mason seconded the motion. The motion carried. Ayes unanimous, 3 nays, none. Mr. Doty moved to approve the application as presented by Warren James Winery. Ms. Mason seconded the motion. Motion carried. Ayes unanimous, 3 nays, none. The meeting adjourned at 6:05 p.m. with a motion made by Mr. Doty and seconded by Ms. Mason. Next is Mental Health Board. No meetings. Planning and Development Commission, Mr. Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On January 4th, the Planning and Development Committee was called to order at 4 p.m. with the following members present: Darrell Cox, Mike Clayton, Mike Watts, Chairman presiding, John Doty, and Jerry Daddy, Mark not able to attend. Also attending were Kelly Lockhart and Samantha McCullough from the Regional Planning, David Reese, and Vicki Beabout, Administrative Assistant. IT update, there was none. There was no GIS update, no old business. Under new business, Mr. Lockhart and the committee reviewed Perryville Solar cost estimate for decommissioning, and discussion followed. No action was taken, although you did get a copy of that, what's being proposed in the board vote. Mr. Lockhart provided members with a copy of the proposal with Watt's copy for the assessment and traffic office. A monthly rate of $150.55 for the assessment office and $95.79 a month for the traffic office for a 60-month period as attached. After discussion, motion was made to forward the proposal to the county board, which was made by Mr. Clayton, seconded by Mr. Cox, passed unanimously with the Doty absent. And just as a note, Kelly did toss this out, and this is very good rates. They've got really good service from Watson, and that's why he proposed that we accept these contracts. So I'll also move at this time.
I'll second.
Did we have Watts? Is this a continuation of the contract with Watts, or did we have a different service last deployment?
It's I don't know technically. I mean, we have other Watts contracts, but I think that these were expiring for these two offices. And so they had to make a choice to go with Watts or choose a different company.
That's fine. Motion by Mr. Watts and second by Mr. Clayton. Any further discussion? Roll call.
I would just say, you have nothing to do with Watts.
Yes, I don't have to say, I
He's making his own emotion. I knew that, that's why. For the record, this is
He wishes.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Friesland,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
McDevitt,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Ms. McCullough presented the members with the Coles County Title VI plan update, which is attached. Mr. Cox made a motion to approve the updated plan and forward to the county board. Mr. Clayton seconded. It passed unanimously, 3 nays, 0 with Doty and Doug absent. And I'll make note that this is a requirement, a non-discrimination statute that's required since we receive federal funds to fund the Dialogue program. And so the county is liaison, and then the Council on Aging serves as the agent for compliance as operating our system. So at this time, I so move that the plan be accepted as submitted.
Motion, second. Second by Mr. Dowdy. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Corey?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Friesland?
Yes.
Mason?
Yes.
McDevitt?
Yes.
Purdy?
Yes.
Shook?
Yes.
Watts?
Yes,
Bennett?
Yes.
Clayton?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Watt, I've shared with the members an estimated cost for public streaming of county board meetings, see attached. Discussion followed, no action was taken at this time. There was no miscellaneous business, no public comment. The meeting adjourned at 4:36 p.m. with a motion made by Mr. Cox and seconded by Mr. Clayton. I will add that after the meeting, Kelly did notify me that the county board has received a $5,000 grant from the Farm Bureau to help pay for the new, what's it called? Comprehensive plan, which dates back to 2006 and was updated in 2012. So the comprehensive plan really needs to be amended. And the rest will help you do that this year. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next up is public, public health.
No meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Road and Bridge Committee.
No meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Senior Citizens Tax Levy Committee, Ms. Purdy.
No meeting.
Sheriff and Law Enforcement Committee, Ms. Ford.
If I wasn't there, should I read the minutes? Doesn't matter.
If somebody else wants to, they can. If not,
Okay.
you can.
The Sheriff and Law Enforcement Committee was called to order at 5:08 p.m. on January 3rd with the following members present. Bob Bennett, Mike Clayton, Rick Shook, acting chairman. Thank you, Rick. Denise Corey and Gail Mason were unable to attend. Also attending were Sheriff Kent Martin, Board Member Daryl Cox, Rob Stroud, Journal Gazette, and Vicki Diabout, Administrator Assistant. Under review reports, Sheriff Martin reviewed the December monthly reports with the committee members and with their attached. Discussion followed. Old business, Sheriff Martin updated staffing with the committee. He has currently hired 4 employees, 3 corrections officers, with 1 presently in the academy and 1 telecommunications position. Sheriff Martin updated the members on the jail project, and he will be ready to send it out for bids. Under new business, Sheriff Martin shared with the members bringing the mentor program back for inmates. He stated that these will be done over video with set times, and discussion followed. Discussion of possible fee increase was tabled at this time. There was no miscellaneous business, no public comment, and the meeting adjourned at 5:35 p.m. on a motion by Mr. Clayton and seconded by Mr. Bennett.
Thank you. Public Plan, Mr. Bennett.
Mr. Chairman, the members of the Supplies and Homes Committee have reviewed the bills and approved them to be paid, and will so move.
Second. Second by Mr. Doty. Roll call.
Corey?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Friesland?
Yes.
Mason?
Yes.
McDevitt?
Yes.
Purdy?
Yes.
Shook?
Yes.
Watts?
Yes,
Bennett?
Yes.
Clayton?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes. WIOA Committee, Ms. Purdy.
No meeting.
The old business? Any new business? Any miscellaneous business? Any reason for executive session? Our announcement of 1 appointment. Next month it will be to the 708 board. As of now, we have 1 applicant, Mr. Scott Clark. I have no remarks. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Doty. Second by Ms. Corey. Roll call.
Corey?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Friesland?
Yes.
Mason?
Yes.
McDevitt?
Yes.
Purdy?
Yes.
Shook?
Yes.
Watts? Bennett?
Yes.
Clayton?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes. We're adjourned.
Which one?
That-